Hey there, what's up? If anyone's watching this, I just found out the YouTube app lets you record a video straight from the app. That's cool. So I thought I would make a video for the beginning of this channel, which I haven't really started yet. So I guess this video I'm just going to talk about Instacart because that's something that I've been wanting to discuss online for a long time. And so if anybody watches this, that would be, it'd be awesome. And if anybody is, yeah, if you want to hit like or subscribe, that would be sweet because there'll be a lot more videos in the future. My plans are to talk about the gig economy, Instacart, Uber, DoorDash, and so on, along with Battlefield. I'm a big Battlefield gamer. So it'd be, and I play the games as well, I'm interested in them, but Battlefield's probably my favorite. So Battlefield and gig economy. So this video I'll talk about Instacart and let's just do a brief history. So like I worked for them for about a year and a half, and I got a taste of at the beginning, before there was the quote service charge that at this point everybody knows about if you've used Instacart. But at the beginning, or not the beginning, but when I started in mid 2016, there was no service charge. There was a default 10% tip, which is, it's a pretty good sized tip. I even think that might be, to have it the way they set it up, it was, but it was nice because considering Instacart shoppers do all the shopping themselves, they have no significant help whatsoever from employees in stores, and they have to pack their car themselves. I mean, most of the job is done on their own. They have to have a cart when they get to, say like a skyscraper with a condo or apartment. They have to put the grocery bags on the cart. It's not like delivering a pizza where you can just hold it. I mean, you can't hold 10 bags of groceries like milk, eggs, bread. So you need a cart. So there's a lot of aspects to it. So I believe a tip is a little more necessary, and possibly a higher tip as well compared with your traditional pizza delivery, food delivery. Anyway, that was a very contentious topic with Instacart. So in October 2016, they replaced the tip with a service charge, 10% service charge. Now, a lot of services have a service charge, pizza delivery, they have a delivery fee, whatever, and a lot of people just know that's not a tip just because of tradition. But the thing with Instacart they did, which was kind of, for them, I guess, cunning and clever, but horrible for basically everybody else, customers and shoppers, they switched the tip to a service charge. Just like that simple, black and white. They went from there was a tip to a service charge. And before they did that, there was a lot of talk of them just removing the tip, and luckily they didn't do that, but that was only because of a very, very loud section of shoppers were demanding that's, even customers were upset, like, that's crazy, how are you not going to let us tip? These people are delivering groceries to our house. It's a pretty nice service. So they left the tip, but they didn't explain to customers that they swapped it. So at checkout, instead of that tip, 10%, now it just said service, 10%. The big difference is they didn't tell anybody. They didn't even tell shoppers. I didn't find out until a month later when I was working with one of my coworkers, and we had to literally figure it out ourselves. They didn't tell anybody about the change. And then, yeah, there was the tip still, but the tip was hidden. You had to click this little edit button that was extremely well hidden, and to a lot of people it doesn't even look like a button. It was this little green thing that said edit, and at that point a lot of people don't want to change their order, right? Because edit is to change. At the final screen, you're pretty much ready. You made changes to your food order, size, whatever. Your credit card, you don't want to change anything at that point. So it's like there was psychology mixed in too. So anyway, they were basically funneling, for all intents and purposes, funneling what customers thought was the tip. It was going to the company, all of it. We weren't getting a cent. Now, of course, the company said, well, the service fees used to help pay a consistent wage for our shoppers. And I mean, that's great and all, but there's no way to prove that money even went to any shoppers, let alone the shopper doing the order, which usually that's what tips are meant for. So obviously this caused severe frustration. A lot of shoppers were insanely upset at this. And this giant national Instacart group, they basically waged, I guess you could say, legal war against Instacart. Tried everything to try to educate customers. And I, for one, I would educate customers almost every single order. I literally would explain to them, the difference between service charge and the tip. And sometimes people would say, yeah, I think I do. They even sounded like they did, but the truth is they were told wrongfully by support, who also lied. I even called them once myself and asked what the difference is, and they even said, yeah, the service charge is the tip, and it goes to your shopper. It was so out of control. It was so bad. But the funny thing is now is it's changed. In the last a couple months ago, they changed it from, finally, after a year and a half, they mandated the service charge, so they required it. Now they dropped it to 5% instead of 10%, but still requiring it. That upset a lot of people's customers, of course. But on the flip side, it also upset shoppers because, yeah, there is now a tip at the checkout, but again, it defaults to 5%, which can be very low depending on the total of the order. But another thing is customers can just remove it if they want, and then that on top of having this new 5% tip default, mandated 5% service charge, having that after all of this confusion over the last 18 months with the service charge issue. I mean, I don't blame customers for being just so confused, and it's like, I don't even know where this money's going. Like, I just want my groceries. Because at this point, they probably think the service charge goes to us and the tip is extra, and it's like, why am I going to tip on top of that? It's just so out of control. So anyway, again, this was meant to be like first video, but Instacart wanted to post. I didn't realize this is possible. It's pretty neat because considering I still do these jobs, I drive all day, so most of the day, I mean, it works. I can just post videos like this. But anyway, just wanted to post some information on the Instacart, I guess, service charge and the history of it. But as of today, I guess to clear it up, so that tip, of course, can be changed. It defaults to 5%. Now, for example, that's not a whole lot, especially when you compare with restaurants. 15 to 20% is considered like normal these days, or 15 to 18%. And then with us, Instacart shoppers, as well as any gig economy worker, we pay for all of our expenses. And I know some people know that, but not a lot of people realize that. The car we drive, the fuel we use, the tolls we pay, if we have to pay for parking, all those expenses, none of them, I repeat, none of them are reimbursed from the company. Yes, they are tax deductible. That, of course, helps, especially like mileage on the car. But at the same time, those are still very expensive. They can be very expensive expenses. And I just really think customers need to understand that, because they tip servers at restaurants where servers, all they have to buy is, say, a crummer, maybe their uniform, very minimal equipment, where when you're a delivery driver for these companies, if you're a contractor independently, you're literally fronting all of the equipment, all of it. You buy a cart for Instacart, it's on you. Like, everything's on you. So I say that not to sound like a complainer, but I say that just so people realize like what people put into these jobs. Even Uber Eats, like delivering a pizza, say, like, maybe obviously you tip less for that, in my opinion, but I just think, my opinion, tips should be way more common on these apps than they are. And again, people always say, bad experiences. Well, those, I don't recommend tipping. I mean, maybe if you do, tip a little, but I really don't. I mean, if it's a bad experience, like a bad server at a restaurant, they don't deserve a good tip. That's, again, common sense. I agree with that. The big problem is the orders that are done excellently or perfectly, they go way above and beyond, especially with Instacart, because those orders can take a lot of work, a lot of different aspects to them, and sometimes there's just no tip. And it's like, it's probably in big part because of the confusion on the service charge, but again, that's why I want to start educating people on that, to know the difference, that money's not for your worker, it's for the company. All of it, all 5% in this case goes to the company. That amount you see at checkout, it's not to drivers. And so even if you tip a couple bucks, it's better than nothing. And so I just really think that if people would show their appreciation when giving a tip, again, assuming that the job was well done and you got all your stuff, and if they communicated or needed to, they did so well. I mean, all those things it's very similar to a restaurant server. A restaurant server makes sure you have everything you need. They might recommend things. They make sure you're taken care of. It's the same thing with Instacart. It's just groceries. they go to the store for you. They're there shopping. They make sure they get the right things for you. That's easier said than done. Let me tell you, if you ever tried shopping for someone else and only having a couple hours to do it, it's not as easy as some people might think. On top of that, if something's missing, you have to communicate that with the customer and then figure it out over text usually. Or even worse, sometimes they don't respond. And then you, the shopper, have to decide, should I refund this item? You may have to look at the rest of the order and figure out what this customer's going for, like a certain type of food or certain dinner, and figure out, should I refund it? Should I get them a substitute? There's just a lot of aspects to it that I think a lot of customers don't get, and so I just hope more people would understand that and please feel the need to tip, literally just like a restaurant server. Because on top of all the work, at the store and picking out groceries, all the grocery part, there's also the expenses driving to the store, all that gas, all that mileage. Again, none of it's reimbursed from Instacart. And I really want to say, because it can sound like complaining, it's not about complaining. It's just about people understanding what the costs are with the job. People, and I think it matters that restaurant servers are such a good comparison. Servers, it's common knowledge, at least in the United States, servers aren't paid hourly. If they are, it's like $2 an hour. It's crazy. It's basically nothing. So, on assuming that, they're tipped. Like almost every single table tips servers because of that knowledge. It's the same idea. And now it may not be 15 to 20% every time, and I get that, especially if it's $300-$400 order. Groceries can be a lot more, and they are groceries. It's not fine dining. But I still think 5 to 15%, depending on the size of the order, the effort, the quality of the shopper, and the experience you got. Those are all important components of it. So I just wanted to get this out there so people possibly, can mull it over and really think about that when they place Instacart orders. And, if you're gonna, think that Instacart's too expensive and that's why I don't use it, I mean, okay, there's people that don't go to fine dining restaurants because they think it's too expensive. So, it's all about the value of your time. If you want to try a service like this, and it can add up. But again, just think of the time you're saving, not just the time, the effort. Grocery stores, there's a lot of things to deal with. You got to find parking first before you even get to the store. And the whole store itself, working around it, waiting at the deli if you want a sandwich. Sometimes that can take upwards of 20 minutes just for the sandwich. Let alone the checkout line and such. So anyway, that's my first little Instacart video. I'll start with that, and if anybody sees it, right now I don't have any subs or anything, but I hope you liked it, and I definitely want to make more content in the future. Again, it'll be Battlefield related, gig economy related, because I really do like talking about the gig economy, Instacart, Uber, DoorDash, etc. Also possibly tennis. I used to play tennis a lot. I'm still into tennis. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and hit like or subscribe if you like. Have a great day.